Hey y'all, welcome to Stacking Growth, a weekly check-in where I take the tips we drop in the Refine Labs weekly newsletter and apply it to our own brand marketing team, stacking them one on top of the other for our continued evolution and growth. I'm Steph Cragnola, and this week is all about ABM. What is ABM? Great question. There are so many definitions, but last week, Evan Hughes, Judy Sheriff, Ciara Hopkins, and Scott Schilling got together for our B2B marketing roundtable to give their own perspective and their own definition on what that means, how to make it effective, preparing to utilize tools, what bases you need to cover before getting started with a strategy. They are absolute experts, and it was so thrilling just to get to listen to them talk about this topic that is so kind of hotly contested of what it actually means. And they really did a great job of narrowing it down. So, in the talk, Evan talked about audience tiering, stressing the importance of catering to each of your different audiences with specific content, specific messaging. And in the newsletter this week, we linked a template to help you get started with that exercise. As part of this experiment, talking through the newsletter and implementing the tips that we actually give you for ourselves, I worked through the template to nail down what tier our podcast and YouTube audiences sit in, and have been thinking about ways to communicate more thoroughly with this group, with you. Our messaging pillars for the podcast focus on category and brand, highlighting key topics in marketing and positioning ourselves as a trusted repository for knowledge acquisition. We're really aiming to be a strong resource in education, as well as a source of inspiration with our call to action episodes that center on a marketer's journey and how they got to where they are, how they got to make the changes they wanted to see. Based on my research, the pain points that we're trying to alleviate that I went through in another step of this template exercise are wrapped up in traditional marketing education being full of holes when it comes to modern demand strategy, modern marketing tactics in general. I feel like podcasts are the top source of information for new and seasoned marketers alike, but you're the one who's listening. What are you worried about? What's the pain point that you're trying to solve for by listening to this podcast and other B2B marketing podcasts? We want to make sure we're solving those pain points accurately and as efficiently as possible. So we want to hear from you. We have monthly live events like the Marketing Roundtable that offer a chance for listeners to ask live questions and give direct feedback. But carving out an hour to attend just isn't feasible for a lot of us with super busy schedules. I want to make this pillar specifically more of a conversation, answer questions directly week to week, address the issues that you're interested in, experiment with tools that you're curious about, and try to problem solve together in a way that creates more of a conversational back and forth flow of information. I know that the whole point of podcasts is that like you're listening to someone on the other end of a screen or a speaker, but like how many times have you wanted to like jump in and answer or ask a question in the middle? You laugh at something funny or you say, yeah, I get it. I want to try to capture that in our comment sections. So Spotify has a comment feature if you're listening there. Obviously, YouTube comments are easily accessible. So if you're listening, drop a comment, pop a comment into that section and let us know how you found this show, what experiments you're running right now, where in your marketing journey you are, why you're listening to marketing podcasts, what you had for breakfast. Honestly, anything that tells me you're listening and want to be part of this conversation. I had honey stinger energy chews for breakfast today. We've been starting to go to the gym and I don't eat well in the morning, so I'm trying something new. I'll let you know how that goes. In other Refine Labs news this week, you can find the full recording of the ABM chat with details on how to go from a full revenue analysis into creating custom lists for ABM on YouTube and your podcatcher of choice. Also, really exciting, we hosted a dinner in Austin on Wednesday night at Perry's Steakhouse. Megan Bowen was in town for the spring conference, and Bree Olmsted flew in from LA to meet up with me, Chris Glansman, and so many Austin-based CMOs, go-to-market leaders, demand marketers, powerhouse LinkedIn voices to just get together and chat. It was so cool to meet a lot of folks in person who I follow on LinkedIn, and then also to meet some new folks who are really brilliant. Megan is going to be hosting more of these throughout the year. So if you want to see us in your city and I want to see you in your city, let us know. Week one of this experiment showed some really positive signals. I'm so excited to keep going with this newsletter video format and excited to hear from you what you're going through and what you're looking for. So let us know, and I'll see you next week.